It's the morning of the exam. Hopefully you've had a full night's sleep and a good breakfast. You're ready.
Let's start with getting to the test on time, not getting there too early so you don't get distracted by the people in the classroom.
Stay away from those folks who want to talk negatively about the test. You know, you might get into class early and hear people say, "Oh, I'm gonna really flunk this test," and then someone else says, "No, I'm gonna flunk it worse than you." You don't need to hear that. All that's gonna do is just lower your morale. I recommend staying away from those kind of people. It doesn't help you at all.
Have you gotten to tests early where one person is saying, "Oh, I'm not going to pass this test"?
Oh, yeah. The one thing I hate is showing up to class 5 minutes before a test and everyone is like studying or reviewing notes with their friends, and I get too nervous, so I have to stand outside the class until I see the professor walk in, because then the class is quiet and I don't have to hear everyone second guessing themselves, because that second guesses myself. So I wait until the professor comes in and then I take the test.
Is that pre-test jitters that go on where people start asking you, have you studied this and have you studied this? It makes students very nervous because they think, well, I don't know, did I study it? And so before they know it, they're very nervous. So I'd say, go for a walk around the building, go get some water, get out a magazine, just don't get there too early.
These students are reviewing their notes right up to the moment of the test. Good idea or not?
I think if you study at the last moment, you're sending yourself a subtle message that you're not ready. So you're not just saying, I'm not ready. You actually, it's implied. And you get the message by this last minute studying. And it's usually, I encourage students to be ready to take the test the night before the exam. So they get a good night's sleep, they get up, they can relax, have breakfast, and not do any last minute cramming. And that sends a message of confidence.
I would always take my notes and note cards into the class before the exam and try to cram right before the professor passes out the examination. And then I just started leaving the notes at home and said, I can't study anymore, I studied enough. And that seems to work well for me.
Calms you down a little bit.
It calms me down a lot, definitely.
Calm down. If you're frustrated or scared, you can't get through the exam without thinking about how bad your grade is going to be. If you just calm down, you probably know the answer. You just have to relax.
Oh, you get into the test, and it's not what you thought.
I just go until I find something that I know. So I was always taught, because when you look at the first thing, I'll get so much anxiety inside me because I don't know how to do it. So I just go to something I know how to do and calm my nerves down a little bit.
Do the easiest questions first, because, you ever have a tennis game and the first thing you do is hit that thing and it goes right into the net and you think, oh, my game's gonna stink today. You wanna get something positive and build your confidence up, so look at the easiest question, maybe the first one or maybe the last one or whatever.
Actually, there's a lot of merit to that because it will boost your confidence and settle the nerves.
And so, say, oh, I know this information, and I'll just write it down because that flows a lot easier. And I take some pressure off myself the more questions that I get done.
So give your confidence a boost by choosing a question you know. And just as you ignored other students' actions before the test, ignore them during the test as well.
I get really, really anxious. I get nervous, especially when I see that people are done, like they're done and I'm not. And I'm like in question 5 and people are leaving already, so that gets me nervous.
How do you calm down?
I breathe. You need to breathe some breathing exercises. Focus on me, just my test, not everybody else. Don't look around, just look at your test, and that tends to calm me down.
Let me tell you about another relaxation technique, one that I used when I was a TV news reporter in Washington, D.C. The Super Bowl, the 100th birthday of the Statue of Liberty, a report from the White House. The stories were always different. The one constant, however, was pressure.
John Spiropoulos, News 7, the White House.
Before going on the air, I'd get anxious. My chest would get so tight I could barely talk. Once early in my career, I even forgot the name of the person sitting next to me on the set. Pressure will do that to you. You can go blank. So what did I do? Yawn. I'd yawn several times before going on the air. It would drain the tension right out of me. I could think, I could talk. Now you can do the very same thing before a test, before a class presentation, on the athletic field, in the choir, in the band. Anytime you're asked to perform and you get nervous, yawn, it'll relax you. Works every time. Here's your exam day plan for keeping calm. Breakfast after a full night's sleep. Don't arrive too early for the exam. Ignore negative comments from other students. In fact, move away from them. Focus only on the exam, not on what's going on around you. Do the easiest questions first. Here are a few techniques to try if you get anxious. Close your eyes, think positive, take a few deep breaths, yawn a few times.